Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Inside Politics. Thank you for staying with us. It's the final lap where we are going to the phone lines to take a look at what you are saying to us. Let me sample a bit of your tweets a bit before I go to the phone lines. Cyril says on Twitter, the next president should be a dictator to whip Kenyans to order. We have become a people who insult elders without caring in the name of democracy. We are lacking basic etiquette and decorum. Those are the views of Cyril. Kiprono Langat says, as a Meru leader, it's on the behalf of those he leads. Time's really running out to dwell only on the illegalities being the BBI, of course, focusing on the battle for Mount Kenya there. Ricardo and Jerry says, I can also say there is a section of political class that wanted reforms through a referendum and are now advocating for parliamentary process. Bonafide Edition tweets and says, I disagree with Bichachi because the dynamics of 2022 will be different from the ones of 2002. Uhuru needed, 2012, I believe, Uhuru needed 80% of Mount Kenya region voters to win. In 2022, the Mount Kenya region's candidate might not need as much because we will have more than 2 horses in the first round of the polls. Thank you for your opinions there. We also have one here from Kevo Adori says the sovereign power belongs to the people, but then some cabals of people in the government are living in denial and they want to deceive Kenyans. The looming IPPG should be condemned because it's for the interests of some top politicians only and not for Kenyans. Newsam says on Twitter, Mora must also know that what Dismas Mukua knows, that we don't need a referendum to institute most proposals of the BBI, hence the IPPG. Mora is battling a pandemic. Truthmaster says on Twitter, JB Muturi's coronation was just a way of appeasing the residents of Mount Kenya East and galvanizing the voting bloc ahead of 2022. The question is, will the mountain remain united under him? Thank you for your tweets. Keep that conversation on going. The hashtag on Twitter is Inside Politics. Let's go to the phone lines now. Let's begin in the county of Garissa, and we have Ibrahim Hassan. Ibrahim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother Kitili.
Yes, thanks for calling in. Give us your thoughts today.
Let me start with the coronation of National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi as the Mount Kenya spokesperson. First and foremost, we have to accept the reality, and this is the reality. Mount Kenya in 2022 does not have a formidable candidate that can compete against William Samoei Ruto. This is a fact that cannot be disputed, because it is very late. They could have started grooming someone to replace the retiring President Uhuru Kenyatta a long time ago. But we have 1 year to the general election. The coronation of JB as the spokesperson of the Mount Kenya will not in any way, according to my opinion, galvanize the support base of the Mount Kenya. This community has been splitted, and I think it is high time they accept the reality to negotiate with William Ruto to come up with a running mate who can deputize him in 2022.
Let me ask you this, Ibrahim. When you see such kind of political mobilization from the regions and communities, what does this say about the other smaller communities? Are you worried that we may never see a president from Garissa?
You know, my brother Kitili, this is a disease that was planted by the founding fathers, the Jomo Kenyatta and the other leaders. This ethnic chauvinism or ethnic exceptionalism, it has started a long time ago. So Mount Kenya region has been given this mentality ya kwamba ndio uko na uwezo ya kuleta uraisi. But going forward, this mentality seems to be dissipating at a very high velocity. And it is a high time they accepted the reality that this time round, they don't have the requisite political power to trounce any of these competing leaders, William Ruto or be it Raila Amolo Odinga. So they can vouch for the running mate, be it Moses Kuria or the JD himself. But presidency, wataona kwa view sasa. Let me speak a little bit about the Madaraka Day celebration, which is being held in Kisumu. The spokesperson said I was I was trying to explain to the nation that the event is somehow restricted. My appeal to the President Uhuru Kenyatta and the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga is that please, as we celebrate the Madaraka celebration, let us also not forget the rapidly mutating enemy in our midst, and that's coronavirus. Let us safeguard the health of the people and their safety as we celebrate the 58th Madaraka Day celebration. About Somaliland, we almost vouch for democracy, and this is a clear indication that any nation can exercise it is democratic without interfering in its affairs. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Ibrahim Hassan, they are calling us from the county of Garissa. Let's switch borders to the county of Nandi and talk to Kennedy Kirui. Kennedy, how are you?
Hello, sir.
Yes, thanks for calling in.
Sana, kwa majina naitwa Kennedy Kirui from Nandi County.
Okay. Tupe maoni yako kuhusu hii maneno ya IPPG. Wanataka kuleta mabadiliko kupitia bunge.
Langu nitasema hivi. Wanapotaka wabunge wetu kutoka National Assembly, wanapotaka ya kwamba kwenda pale kuongea sababu ya kubadilisha katiba hainji. Nataka niseme ya kwamba bunge la Kenya wana upinafsi hao wenyewe. Wakisema ya kwamba wabunge karibu 13 wanataka kwenda kukaa chini pale ati wafanye makeuzi ya katiba ili wapate manufaa yao. Bunge la Kenya hawana ile kitu ya kwamba mwananchi mwenyewe afaidike namna gani. Wanataka tu ya kwamba waone hao wenyewe katika siasa yao na mamlaka ambao wanataka waende washikawe pale bungeni au wenyewe wafaidike. Ona ya kwamba koti ilisema ya kwamba hakuna sheria ambayo ilifuatwa kwa PPI. Nataka niulize panel ambao wako pale juu. Tukasema kwa wameapili. Wale majaji wakasema ya kwamba rais wa Kenya hakufuata sheria. Na kitu ambacho inalinda nchi ni sheria. Wacha niulize pale. Kama rais amevunja sheria, ile kitu ambacho inafanya sahihi rais wa Kenya Uhuru Kenyatta sababu amevunja sheria. Sheria pia inakubali rais aondolewe mamlakani. Na kama hatakubaliwa aondolewe mamlakani, ndio nataka niulize pia mwisho. Mimi siungi mkono.
Alright, asante sana. Wacha tukatize kidogo Kennedy. Asante sana kwa maoni yako, kwa kupiga simu na kuuliza maswali mazuri. Kennedy Kirui, they are calling us from the county of Nandi. We need to cross over to the Lee Funeral Home where the body of the late KALEMBE NDILE has been taken. Let's listen in to what's happening there. Kalonzo Musyoka is currently speaking.
Na mimi niliongea na Mheshimiwa KALEMBE juzi na hata jana asubuhi, na kusema kweli sikujua kwamba angetuacha haraka namna hii. Sasa nilipoongea na yeye jana asubuhi aliniambia alikuwa amejaribu kupata nafasi Aga Khan. Kwanza alinipigia that day at 3 in the morning. Tukasema tutajaribu, but ndugu yake Sam akanijulisha wamefaulu Nairobi Hospital. Kwa hivyo nataka niwashukuru sana administration ya Nairobi Hospital kwa kujaribu kumsaidia, na madaktari ambao walijaribu pia kumsaidia. Hatujapata habari kamili haswa the cause of death. So I want to ask that one thing I know, it was not COVID. It wasn't COVID, this is for sure. But it's something to do with the bile. And so we will wait to get the actual results. Kwa nini alituacha ghafla namna hii bila COVID ambao tunajua ndio inaharakisha mambo haya. Lakini mimi kwa niaba yangu na wenzangu kwa chama cha Wiper, Mheshimiwa Kalembe after Tip joined Wiper Democratic Movement kwa roho safi na alikuwa mjasiri sana. Wherever we went with Mheshimiwa Kalembe in this country, wananchi wenyewe would demand to be addressed by Mheshimiwa Kalembe. Kalembe was whom you saw, and he gave it to you as he knew it. And I want to thank His Excellency the President, whom I had to inform in the morning. And he was very rough, almost to say, what is this you're telling us? Alikuwa rafiki yake wa dhati. Na akasema kama mtoto wa squatter ametuacha, ni hasara kubwa sana. Mheshimiwa Kalembe Ndile stood truly for the common person, mwananchi wa kawaida. Na hakuficha, hakuogopa, alikuwa na ujasiri wa ajabu. Where some of us will hold the brakes, Kalembe will let you have it as he saw it, bila hofu ama hata mapendeleo. So this country has lost one of our best political leaders. Somebody was reminding me, kuna mtu alimuchallenge, kwa nini wewe unaona mambo ya ukoloni huu ni mbaya zaidi? Kalembe alisema during the struggle for independence alikuwa hajazaliwa, lakini alikuwa anamsumbua mama yake kwa kupiga anamsumbua kabisa akiwa kwa tumbo, kulalamikia ndani ya tumbo. Very politically conscious, astute, charismatic, and a true representative of his people. Hamtasikia Kalembe Ndile ako na mali nyingi. No, because he didn't deserve that kind of reputation. That's why he could stand and call a spade with regard to stealing of public funds. Wizi. He had very little patience for corruption and was a true representative of the people who are landless in this country. Akajifanya ndio spokesperson wa masquota wote Kenya hii. We will, those of us left behind by our late brother, will continue with the struggle for justice as he knew it. He knows its ramifications and consequences. The country has woken up this Sunday morning to the sad news of the departure of Mheshimiwa Kalembe Ndile, former member for Kibwezi West, former leader of Tip, ambaye anasema waziwazi bila kuficha aliibiwa. And that's why he came to Wiper. We will have occasion as a country to eulogize this fearless son of the soil, common in all respects, but very strong, mentally, spiritually, strong in the fight against corruption. May the good Lord rest his soul in everlasting peace. Tumeomba hapa waheshimiwa na washukuruni. Mheshimiwa mbunge wa Kibwezi West himself is here. Mheshimiwa Kalembe had run against him. And Mheshimiwa Musimba, thank you so much. I don't know where he is.
Thank you. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka speaking outside the Lee funeral home where the body of the late Former Kibwezi Member of Parliament, former party leader of the Tip Party, KALEMBE NDILE, has been taken. We are on top of that story. Emmanuel Tor is there, so do stand by for more information as soon as it happens. Let me come to my panelists for the final thoughts. Very quickly, give me your final thoughts, Ishmael.
Though, Ben, we didn't say this, you know that Chelsea was crowned a winner in UEFA, and I know Bichachi and yourselves, you are really feeling bad, and this month there is no
Chelsea is a very small team, that's why. Give us your closing remarks in 40 seconds. Only.
Thank you so much. I think what comes out in our debate today and in our discussions, what is very important is to learn how not to take politicians extremely seriously, number one. Number two, that as citizens, we should actually be able to support the leaders who are in office, especially the president and the deputy president and the former prime minister, in whichever programs they bring up. Let's not find a way to critique them with a view to dismantling them, but critique them with a view to seeing how they can be implemented.
All right, thank you, Mark.
I would just like to eulogize KALEMBE NDILE and from that advise the political class in this country. KALEMBE NDILE had a cause and he lived for a purpose. Whether he was in parliament or out of parliament, his purpose was clear. The lesson to the political class then is this, that let them stop creating problems, solving them, and then ending by thanking God for solving the problem they created themselves.
Thank you. Dismas?
Although Mark did not give examples. However, I want to begin from where Ishmael has stopped, that we need to support all our political leaders, be it President Kenyatta, be it Raila Odinga, be it William Samoei Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, or Wetangula, but our support must be qualified, that we only support them when they are pursuing our national and public interests. If they're doing a selfish interest, we must call them out. And also members of the judiciary, the judges, must not fear criticism because mature people are not criticizing personalities. They're criticizing the judgments or rulings. So when people criticize the judgments or rulings, members of the judiciary should not be nervous.
All right. Thank you. Jared Opio, very quickly, give me your final thoughts, please.
Yeah, I think just as my colleagues have said, in Kenya, around elections like this, we have politicians from all shades of life spewing vitriol and charging their support bases in preparation to the general elections. So what I would want to say is that it is time for us to practice responsible politics. We should support the administration of the day as we remain awake to the critical realities of the moment. And I think the lesson that we are learning from the latest twist in parliamentarians trying to do IPPG is that really they have, most of them have no principles. They don't champion a particular cause for any reason whatsoever. Theirs is to keep the general population busy as they wait for the next electoral cycle. So it is upon this country, upon the patriots of this country to remain awake and remain true to the causes that they believe in.
Thank you. Thank you. Jared Opio, former Member of Parliament for Awendo in the county of Migori. Here in studio, I had with me the political risk analyst Dismas Mokuo, communication strategist Mark Bichachi, and lawyer Ishmael Nyaribo. Many thanks, gentlemen, as always, for your time. That's why we leave it on Inside Politics this 30th day of May 2021. For all of us here, we thank you for watching. Don't go too far. Up next is Weekend at 1 with George Moringa. I'm Ben Kitili. Bye for now.